Is your Begonia Rex getting crispy leaf edges, soft, mushy stems, or dropping leaves for no reason? Well, you're not alone. Begonia Rex has some of the most beautiful leaves of any houseplant, but it can be a little dramatic. And when something is wrong, it will let you know very quickly. And trust me, I learned this the hard way. Right now I have two healthy Begonia Rex plants and they're doing great, but not long ago I lost one. And this is her. She started dropping leaves, the stems became soft and within a few weeks she was gone. And the sad part is, every single thing that killed her was avoidable. So in this video I'll show you the 5 biggest mistakes people make with Begonia Rex, the same mistakes I made with this one, and exactly how to fix them so yours stays full and colorful. Begonia Rex is grown for its leaves, not its flowers. Those patterned leaves are the whole reason we love this plant. But those same gorgeous leaves are also the reason it needs slightly different care from your average houseplant. Now let's start with the mistake that does the most damage. Watering is where most people lose their begonias, and it's usually not because they forget. It's because they water it the wrong way. Here is the thing about this plant. It really does not like to be wet on top. The leaves, the stems, and especially the crown and the little rhizome sitting at the soil line, they all hate sitting in water. So when you water it from the top, like you would most houseplants, the water sits on the leaves and in the crown. And that's exactly where rot starts. That's why I always water mine from the bottom. It's really simple. Just place the pot in a dish with water and let it sit there for about 15 to 20 minutes. During that time, the plant does the work on its own. It slowly pulls the water up through the drainage holes so the roots get a nice deep soak. This way the crown, stems and leaves stay dry, and that's exactly what Begonia Rex prefers. After 20 minutes, take the pot out and let any extra water drain away before you place it in her decorative pot. It's such a small change, but for Begonia Rex it can make a huge difference. The next thing to keep in mind is that Begonia Rex is actually quite thirsty. A lot of people hear that begonias rot easily, so they get scared and don't water enough. But that's totally wrong. If you let a Begonia Rex stay completely dry for too long, the leaves will start to go soft and limp. The edges can turn crispy and the whole plant can start to look like it's deflating. The good news is she usually bounces back after a good bottom watering, but try not to let her get that dry over and over again, because every time it happens the plant gets stressed, and over time all that stress adds up. On the other hand, overwatering is even more dangerous than underwatering. If the soil stays soggy for too long, the roots can start to suffocate and rot. You may see yellowing leaves, stems that turn soft and mushy at the base, and a crown that starts to look dark or slimy. And once root rot sets in, it can be very hard for the plant to come back. That's exactly what happened to the one I lost. So here is my advice, and it's very simple. Water regularly, but always from the bottom. Let the top inch of soil dry out between waterings and then bottom water again. And if you're not sure when to water, don't worry. She will usually show you. When a Begonia Rex is getting thirsty, the leaves often start to drop. That's her way of telling you she needs a drink. Give her a good bottom watering and she should perk back up. If you keep that rhythm, regular bottom watering and letting the top dry slightly between drinks, you will help protect the plant from root rot. That one habit keeps the crown safe, keeps the leaves dry and still gives the roots the water they need. The second mistake is the wrong light, and this one can be a little tricky because Begonia Rex wants a specific kind of light. What it loves is bright, indirect light. Think of a bright spot near a window, but not the harsh sunbeam coming straight through it. In the wild, Begonia Rex grows under bigger plants where the light is soft and filtered, so she wants plenty of brightness but not strong direct sun. Both of my healthy Begonia Rex plants live near an east to north facing window. In that spot they get gentle morning sun and then bright indirect light for the rest of the day. And you can see the result. The colors are deep, the leaves are big, and the whole plant looks full and healthy. Now compare that to the one I lost. I had her a few feet back from a southwest facing window where she was getting strong afternoon sun. And honestly, she was never happy there. Too much direct sun can bleach the leaves, make the colors look faded and washed out, and also create crispy, dry, scorched patches where the sun hits. That harsh light was one of the things that stressed her out. But too little light is also a problem. If your Begonia Rex sits somewhere too dark, the leaves can lose their bright color, new leaves may come in smaller, and the plant can start stretching and getting leggy as it reaches for light. So the sweet spot is bright, indirect light with maybe a little soft morning sun. An east or north facing window is usually perfect. And if the only bright window you have is south or west facing window, just pull the plant back a little or filter the light with a sheer curtain. That way, it still gets the brightness it needs without the harsh direct sun. Mistake number 3 is one people don't always think about, and that is the soil and pot. Let's start with the pot. Begonia Rex grows from a rhizome, which is that thick little stem that sits close to the top of the soil. Its roots are shallow and they spread more sideways than down, so this plant usually does best in a wide, shallow pot, not a deep one. A deep pot holds too much soil underneath the roots, and that soil can stay wet for a long time. A wide, shallow pot helps the soil dry more evenly, and it fits the way Begonia Rex naturally grows. Also, don't rush to move your begonia into a huge pot thinking you are helping. They actually like to be a little snack. A pot that is too big just holds too much wet soil around the roots. Now let's talk about the soil. Begonia Rex needs a light, airy mix that drains well. Heavy, dense soil can hold too much water and stay soggy. And as we mentioned before, this plant really does not like soggy soil. I like to use regular potting soil, but I always mix in something that makes it lighter and improves drainage, like perlite. You can also add a little orchid bark or coco coir to help keep the mix airy. The goal is soil that holds a little moisture, but still lets the extra water drain through easily. When you get the pot and the soil right, you remove one of the biggest hidden causes of Begonia Rex problems. Mistake number 4 is wetting the leaves, and the biggest problem here is misting. You hear this advice everywhere with tropical plants, but with Begonia Rex, please don't do it. I never missed mine. And the reason is simple. Begonia Rex leaves have that beautiful texture, slightly fuzzy surface, and that surface holds on to water. So when you mist the plant, the droplets don't dry quickly. They sit on the leaves, and that can easily lead to brown spots, fungal problems, gray mold, or even rot. And here is the truth, misting doesn't really help much anyway. The moisture disappears from the air very quickly, so it doesn't raise humidity in any lasting way. You get all the risk of wet leaves without any real benefit. Now, Begonia Rex does love humidity. That part is true. If the air is too dry, especially in winter when the heating is on, the leaves can get crispy brown edges and curled tips. So yes, this plant wants moisture in the air. but the important thing is to raise the humidity without wetting the leaves. For me, the easiest way is humidifier. It keeps the air around the plant moist without water sitting on the leaves. You can also use a pebble tray, group your plants together, or place your Begonia Rex in a naturally humid room like a bright bathroom or kitchen. So remember this, Begonia Rex loves humid air, but she does not like wet leaves. Mistake number 5 is a poor air circulation, and this is one almost nobody talks about. Begonia Rex loves humidity, but humidity without air movement can quickly become a problem. When the air is warm, damp, and completely still, it creates the perfect conditions for powdery mildew. Powdery mildew is that dusty white coating you sometimes see on begonia leaves, and begonias are very prone to it. Once it appears, it can spread fast and it's not easy to get rid of. This usually happens when begonias are packed too tightly together or in a warm, humid corner with other plants. The humidity is there, but there is no fresh air moving around the leaves, and that still damp little space is exactly what mildew loves. The fix is simple. Give your begonia some breathing room. Don't squeeze it too tightly between other plants and try to keep a little space around the leaves. You can open a window sometimes to let fresh air move through, or use a small fan on low somewhere in the room. It should not blow directly on the plant. You only want the air to move gently around it. That small amount of airflow makes a big difference. So yes, give your Begonia Rex humidity, but make sure the air is moving too. Humid air is good. Humid stagnant air is the problem. So those are the 5 mistakes that can really hurt your Begonia Rex, and looking back, they are the exact mistakes that cost me this plant. I'm planning more Begonia Rex videos about other mistakes and the leaf problems people often run into, so if you don't want to miss them, make sure to subscribe to my channel. And if you'd like to see my 5 mistakes to avoid series for other plants, I'll leave a link in the description. If this video helped, give it a like and write any questions or your own begonia tips in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching and happy growing!